In this tutorial, we're going to look at headings. This is a topic covered in Chapter 5 on page 133. The definition of a heading is a short, descriptive title or subtitle used to mark the beginning of a paragraph or content area. In short, headings and subheadings are used to establish or enhance the visual hierarchy of a page. In other words, they give order and they give structure to the information that's presented to the user or the viewer of a page to make it easier for them to navigate through the content that you're presenting to them. To illustrate this, let's jump over to Safari and take a look at a few examples. The first example is from the Alamance County Convention Visitors Bureau. There's a screenshot of this page in Chapter 3 dealing with planning and design. So in this page we have at the very top a large graphic that says Visit Alamance County. This is the master heading of the page. It indicates to the viewer very quickly what the name of the site is and what the related content has to do with. In this particular case, this is all about Alamance County here in North Carolina, and so viewers can come to the home page and they can very quickly see that the page is very well organized. There's content regions here that are indicated by these buttons on an interactive navigation bar that open up and provide other information to the visitor. These are indeed subheadings indicating where people can go to find out specific information. And then within the page itself we have this content area called Welcome, and you can very quickly establish headings because again they are usually nuggets of information, a single word or a few words that are descriptive. They're describing the area that follows the subheading, or if the viewer were to click on it as a link, would take them to that content. Below the word welcome here is the actual body copy for that page. And so emphasis is given to headings by increasing or decreasing the font size. You can use color, you can use inverted text, you can use graphical elements. Headings don't have to simply be boring text. They can be really very creatively designed in any number of ways. The important thing is that you be consistent with your headings. Whatever heading 1 is, or the master level for an entire site, make sure that you're consistent across all the pages of the site so that heading 1 looks the same within a related group of pages. And the same should be said for heading 2, 3, 4, and 5. As Chapter 5 indicates, there are usually 6 levels of heading. You don't often want to put more than that because putting more than that would really be confusing to the viewer. Very often 3 levels of heading are sufficient for a lot of content that you would create as a multimedia experience for your viewers. So again, finally, just looking at some of these other ones, there's a current event heading or subheading here. There's one called recent news, and then over here in the right sidebar there's actually articles or other sub-content areas that you can click on: shopping, summer fun, etc. Well, another example is where I live and work, and that's Elon University, and here's our web page. If you go to the very top, you have what we call the masthead or the master header of the page, and that is Elon University in a very large font. So it draws attention to itself. It's also positioned in the upper left-hand corner where the eye, at least in Western cultures, is going to want to land when it comes into the reading or the scanning of a page, a multimedia page. So very prominent placement, and again, a large font indicates that this is the master heading of the page. If we scroll down into the page or look down into it, we see other content regions. This particular one's called News and Events. Here's one called Schools. Here's one called Voices of Elon. And up above here in this large animated interactive graphic, we actually have a section here with 3 different headings. This graphic, banner graphic that says Elon is, and then underneath it there's rotating thematic subheadings here. This one's called Academic Quality. Below that there's a statistic or a piece of information that helps to shed light on that particular value or that particular attribute. So here we have one level of heading at the top, a subheading here in the middle, a third heading down here introducing the paragraph copy or the body copy. So headings are very useful for establishing that visual hierarchy. Let me jump over to Dreamweaver, and I don't want to scare you by introducing you to HTML too soon, but in the specific category of web design, headings are used to again give structure and visual hierarchy to a web page. And so HTML, when it was created, built into that the ability to have up to 6 levels of headings. So here's an HTML template, and there's just placement text here or dummy text that's been put into this template just to kind of show you what this could look like. Obviously you as the user would come in and change this and customize it to your own content, but there's 3 headings in this particular page. The first one instructions is bold and it's got a larger font. The one below that is clearing method, and the one below that is logo replacement. So you can sort of see there's a demotion taking place from a large bold font at the top to one that's a little bit smaller, and then down here on the bottom to one that's even a little bit smaller than that. If I double click and highlight the first heading and I open up my code window and I go over here and look at this in the actual HTML, you can see that the word instructions is wrapped by an H1 tag. The H1 tag simply means that when text is embedded into an H1 tag, it's going to make it look larger than all the other headings. So just to show you how this works, I can change this by making it a heading 6 tag. We'll go ahead and put that in there, and immediately when I come over, we can see that the size has now been demoted to heading 6. So this is now the smallest heading on the page because clearing method is the heading 2 and logo replacement is heading 3. This is heading 6. So you can see there's a progression where the tag gets smaller with each heading level that's assigned to it.